We are live with Dan Pemble.
Good morning.
Dan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you are presenting, or where you work at?
Sure.
City, location, shop.
Yeah, I'm located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is like super far north Michigan, about 8 hours north of Detroit. So a lot of people, when they hear Michigan, if they're not too familiar with the area, they're like, "Is that near like Ann Arbor?" And we're like, "No, like keep going, keep going." It's on the other side of the Mackinac Bridge in the Upper Peninsula, and I own and work at Sacred Tattoo Studio.
Okay. What kind of tattoos do you typically focus on?
I guess I would call them illustrative. I was an illustration major in college, and so a lot of what just naturally worked for me there, I've been able to translate over into tattooing.
Sorry, I'm pulling up questions too. Can you tell us a little bit about your shop? How long have you been around? What kind of guys you have there?
Yeah. We've been there almost 9 years. I've got a great crew of dudes. We've got 4, including myself, and about to have 5, which is a big move for us. It's the most artists we've ever had there, and I'm super blessed to have the guys that I have there. They're rad dudes, and we're certainly a family. And I hear about shops that have like 10 to whatever number of artists, and I'm like, whoa, that's so wild, because we literally do everything together.
That's good. And Liz Cook, I was talking to her yesterday, and she was telling me she has 19 people at her shop.
Yeah, that's
I was
wild.
like, man, that is insane. That is a lot of
Personalities.
Yeah, and a lot of different personalities, and that's a big shop to manage.
For real. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
How long's the shop been around?
Almost 9 years.
You probably just mentioned it. I just misheard it. So tell us how you got into tattooing.
Man, fell into it. Luck for sure. I was 25, I think, a little bit of a late bloomer in terms of receiving tattoos. So I graduated from art school, illustration major, and I did graphic design for a couple years and hated it. And I was in a local shop getting my first tattoo when I was 25, and more or less left with a job. I was like, it hadn't even crossed my mind, and next thing I knew, it was like, went there the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And
it's interesting that you waited so long to get your first tattoo, because I did the same thing. I didn't get mine the first one until I was 26, and then I went absolutely crazy.
Well, we lucked out too. It shows,
Yeah, I mean, and people make fun of me all the time because I started off really good, and I just didn't get anything bad, and it seems like you did the same thing.
Yeah, I was lucky in that respect. I mean, so many of our colleagues, in this industry,
tattooed themselves.
Oh, they tattooed themselves, or they were just so eager that as soon as they got, they're like, I just want to be covered, and so they get whatever
what they had.
Exactly, and so yeah, I got lucky in that regard.
One of the discussions during Liz's seminar was about using digital.
Sure.
And I know the discussion that's going to be happening throughout the week here at Explore. Tell us about your design process. Do you use iPads, Photoshop, or do you strictly stick to old school
pen and paper stuff? No, I've been on the Wacom, the Cintiq, the bigger monitor now for a few years. Russ turned me onto it when he was clearly one of the first to really make that step, and really urged me to do it for a while. And when I made the transition, it was, you're like, man, why did I not do this sooner? And a real new development is just about right around Christmas time. The program that I use on the Wacom became available on the iPad. So then I grabbed one of those, and it's changed my workflow huge, because I used to only draw at the shop because I've got this situation there. And so I would either have to go in early or stay late to draw, and now I can lay in bed at night.
And new iPad Pros, they have the pens.
Yeah, and then when I get to work, I just airdrop it over to my big monitor, and it's like, boom, and then I can.
What do you think in the next 10 years how technology is possibly going to change tattooing? I mean, it's already changed it since the release of tablets. It's
robots,
rocket speed.
Lasers, who knows? I don't know, what, 10 years from now?
Yeah.
I love the fact that what we do is still a craft, right? Like, as so many other industries are going to become potentially obsolete because of technology, I think there's still a respect and a necessity for the craft of what we do, where, I mean, you can't just stick your arm under you can't automate creativity. to an extent, but what we do is still a craft, and I appreciate that about it. So as much as the tools that help us do the craft are evolving around us, they're all helping us be better at our craft. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what 10 years from now will hold. The pigments will only get better, the equipment will only get better, the technology in general is going to only get better and better.
So one of the things that we know about you is that you're real big into Muay Thai. Can you talk about how you got into Muay Thai, and you make references to your martial arts in your tattoos sometimes? We've heard you make references to your martial arts passion and tattooing.
Okay.
The passions that go together. So
sure. Yeah.
Can you share some information about your Muay Thai career with us?
So I started when I was about 15. My dad drugged me down there. A guy he worked with was doing it and thought it'd be a good way to get in shape, and we just fell in love. We're hooked immediately. And I'm like the most passive person. I'm like, don't have an aggressive bone in my body, but I'm very competitive. And so a lot of what that offered just really clicked. Like, it's human chess. It's not like I need to go get out this, all of the crazy stereotypes about martial arts are usually true, the discipline and the self-respect and all these things. Like, really, there's a reason that they're a stereotype. And man, I can't even imagine where my life would, it's like a choose your own adventure. I don't even want to know what the other side looked like had I not found martial arts when I did. So yeah, prior to tattooing, from like 15 to my early to mid 20s, it was a priority always. But I was always fortunate enough to have art was still like, this is what I'm going to do. So I was able to take Muay Thai as far as I could or wanted, and then always knowing like, this is not a career choice. This is just something I'm really passionate about. But I was fortunate enough to have something else.
Yeah, it's another creative outlet.
Yeah.
So one of the questions from Instagram was in regarding your faith. A lot of people who know you know that you have a pretty strong faith, and being in a sort of a deviant culture of tattooing where, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of partying and stuff like that. How does your faith tie into your tattooing?
I think it's just a lifestyle choice more than anything. One of the great things about our industry is that you're literally afforded whatever lifestyle you choose to have. Like, if that's your prerogative, like that's cool. You can be that. If you just want to be like a good husband and a good father, like, you can do that too. And so it's just never really been an issue. I think more people assume that like I would get like hassled about it or something, and it's just not really the case. No, it's just a respect thing, I think, mostly. And when you show respect, you usually receive it. You
receive it back.
Yeah, it's all love, baby.
So you're at Explorer this weekend, or not this weekend, I keep on saying this weekend. You're at Explorer between May 23rd to the 21st to the 23rd. You're going to be presenting. What are you presenting on? And what can people look forward to hearing from you? Sure.
So the title of my presentation is called Legibility of a Tattoo. And so I'm talking a lot about it's a bit composition and it's a bit technical application, but the composition aspect is talking a lot about choosing reference, strong silhouette, and contrast being probably the biggest thing that I really dive into.
Okay. Sounds like we're wrapping up outside in here in a minute. We got one last question. What kind of plans do you have for the rest of 2018? And if people are interested in getting tattooed by you, how should they get in contact with you?
I really slow down travel in the summer. I live in northern Michigan and it's just gorgeous up there. So I got a trip to Germany. I'm going to Berlin in August. And then after that, that'll be about it for the year. If you want to get tattooed by me, just shoot the shop an email. You can go to sacredtattoostudio.com. There's a cool little link that'll get you right to our email. You just say, hey, I want to get tattooed. And it'll kind of get the ball rolling.
And your Instagram handle?
It's just my name, just Dan Pemble.
Okay, thank you very much, Dan. We appreciate you taking the time. We will be streaming some of Dan's seminar at Explorer. When are you presenting?
Tomorrow, first thing at 10 a.m.
Okay, we'll be streaming some of Dan's presentation tomorrow, so be on the lookout for it. And we really appreciate your time. And
Cheers.
We're huge fans of yours, and we can't wait to see what comes from you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.